And we have a question. We have a question sent in by one of our listeners that I thought it would be good to throw Dr. Sutanto here because you're mentioned in the question.
Right.
Hi, Dr. Keaton. I listened to the podcast on Turretin from a while back. Inspired me to try and read more of his writings. So, always good to hear that students and listeners are excited about Turretin.
Mm-hmm.
Took a class with Dr. Sutanto and didn't make it through as much of Turretin as I had hoped. But was reading so much other stuff that was great too. What else would be a good resource of his to read, maybe with a reading group of lay people? Is there only one resource? Could you suggest a pared down resource? Thanks.
A pared down resource, not from Turretin.
I think this is about Turretin. So
yeah, I know. It is about Turretin, but I don't think you can get a pared down resource from Turretin.
Okay.
I think you just have to do the heavy lifting there.
There's no reader's guide.
No shortcut. No. I mean, you've got a few introductions to Reformed scholasticism, which are pretty good. Willem van Asselt's would be the best one out there available. And Ryan McGraw has an introduction to Reformed scholasticism that's pretty good as well. You might also want to get Richard Muller's dictionary, theological dictionary of Latin terms, significant Latin terms that you might find the Reformed scholastics define them.
I found that very helpful.
Yep. Yeah. Probably the most important resource just for navigating the material. But yeah, there is no shortcut to Turretin. I say to my students that 10 to 12 to 15 pages of Turretin a day is a successful day. Really take your time to digest
that much.
The material, and you do need to be aware of certain Platonic, Aristotelian terms that he uses, things like efficient causation, formal causation, what a formal relation is, what a virtual relation or distinction is. Those sort of things you just kind of have to pick up along the way. And again, Muller's reading there is really helpful, the theological dictionary. I'd also say, I think Stephen Dooby's work, Jesus and the God of Classical Theism, is probably the best book on Christology out there available today. And he uses a lot of Turretin, he uses a lot of the Reformed scholastics to respond to certain modern debates and really confusions about the doctrine of God. I think very, very helpfully. It's cutting edge. It's very accessible, I would argue. And no shortcut to it. Bavinck does actually cover some of those terms. So if you want to go through Herman Bavinck, he's probably, for some readers, more accessible than Turretin. Pick up his Wonderful Works of God. That would be a really good resource just to get into Reformed Orthodoxy.
Okay, why not just do Bavinck then? In fact, I know for a fact that there is a Bavinck reader.
Yes, there is a
that
Bavinck reader coming out. Yes.
Or is soon to exist and does abbreviate Bavinck, is a kind of, there's no such equivalent.
No.
Yet for Turretin, so why not just do Bavinck?
Why not just do Bavinck? I think Bavinck is great for using Reformed scholasticism to respond to modern theology and modern philosophy, but there is no replacing just the high orthodoxy of a Turretin or a Van Maastricht or a Photius. I mean, you don't really know how significant Bavinck's work is unless you know the 17th century. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Can I chime in here? I mean,
Yes.
And you don't even have to raise your hand.
Well, okay, I just... Maybe just to
it is why we gave you a mic.
Oh, I'm all right. Well, I mean, I'm kind of protruded myself into this conversation, but okay, just to encourage reading in Turretin and maybe doing it in a group. The very last thing I did in seminary, the first two volumes of Turretin's Elenctic Theology had just come out. The editor, Jim Dennison, was a friend, librarian, and so he obviously had access to the things. And so the very last thing we did was actually Independence 20, 30 of us. It just came out. So we all asked Jim Dennison if we just do a class. And all we did was read. And just, week after week, just read different sections of Turretin. Now, it was dense, and it was complex, and it was very, very precise. And it did help to have Jim Dennison there. Mm-hmm. But just to read it together in a group, like just gather once a week with like-minded folk to do that, actually was fun, and it was really helpful.
Yeah, Gray, do you think? So to both of you, so the questioner is asking, not only for herself but also for a reading group of lay people. lost cause or
No, I would say reading group of lay people on Turretin. I would say if you want to just take a small section of Turretin, maybe a few questions from the doctrine of God or in the doctrine of Scripture, something from volume 1, I think that's worth doing, but only assign about, again, 10 pages at a time. Don't assign whole chapters or whole questions.
yeah. I agree. I don't think it's a lost cause.
Yeah.
To answer my own question, because even though it's very dense,
Yeah.
it is readable. You
Yes.
have to kind of adjust to the way it works.
Yeah.
It's so foreign to the way we tend to write and think and work. This eclectic Q&A kind of pattern, but once you get adjusted to the rhythm of the language,
Yeah.
it's very clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.